Hey guys, gals, friends, and pals, this is Paul, EastX Twitch, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Game School, where we learn about a different game every Saturday of the year. Tonight, I'm joined on mic by Tyler.
Hello.
We've got Brandy off to the side.
Hi.
And our very special guest, Mark Davis from Smonch Games.
Hey guys.
So I'm proud to be playing your game on stream, Horde of Plenty, which is available on Xbox and Steam right now.
Thank you.
Let's see. Doesn't look like I need to adjust any settings before we start playing. So do I click story or new game first?
Yeah, actually, story's good.
Story. Well, look, we've got comic panels. The City Knight, Union Ironworker, Ron Mayhem. That's our titular character. Do you have an artist, or did you do all this stuff yourself?
So the comic art, this comic art here is a friend of mine, Matt Laverty, and we worked together at Big Fish Games a number of years ago. And
Big Fish, neat.
Yeah, and then did a project together and worked at another company together. So yeah, so it's he's an awesome artist, and then for like for what you're looking at right here in the main menu. He gave me kind of a kit, and so I took his the kit and then did all the composition, if that makes sense.
Not bad at all. Do you recommend I play on normal to start with?
Yeah, probably not on Wicked unless you have a death wish, to be honest.
I'm not terrible at twin stick shooters, but I don't want to die too much on stream.
It's kind of fun, but it's very, very difficult, to be honest.
Well,
you'll see some things in Wicked that you won't see. You'll see a lot more loot.
Does progress carry over between difficulties or something?
No, so this is very traditional arcade. So you have multiple lives, but there is no like a checkpoint where you can continue at.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I wanted to check it out before the stream, but we had a Marvel movie to watch, and those run kind of long.
Right.
I bet you're more excited for your watch through of all the DC movies, right, Paul?
I will only do that if I get really mad at myself about something. Like, oh great, I messed up at work. Well, I guess it's time to watch Batman Loves Superman.
It looks like you're doing great.
Well, I got hit a couple times.
Oh wow.
Also, it's like kind of a screen. The screens.
If you pop into that little cave there, there's a upgrade in there.
Did I get it? Oh, I did, I guess.
So there's a light. If you run into the cave, there you go.
Nice.
Let's get a little boost.
Yeah, it looks like you're seeing a little bit behind me. No, I definitely, whatever you can tell us about, it's one of the pleasures of having a developer on mic with us.
Yeah, it's
all the help you can get.
Oh, that's cold, Tyler. What's this blue
really
thing?
Fun, honestly, I really enjoy watching other folks play this game.
Achievement.
It's just all the different perspectives. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I'll be honest, the format of our stream, which is sort of like a live podcast format, because we always have co-hosts and we talk about whatever we feel like, that it doesn't lend itself to skillful play because it's a little bit distracting, but as long as you don't mind.
Oh, for sure.
Just consider me about 20% of a better player than what you can see on stream.
Oh, I'm the same way, 100%. And to be honest, I designed Wicked for myself, really, and I really have to be playing for a few days straight to do well at it, to be honest.
Wow.
It's funny, but if I don't play for a week, I'll get kind of rusty.
Dang. It sounds challenging, and we'll definitely check it out right at the end. Do we have a smart bomb or anything like that?
There is not. I've actually had that request quite a few times, The thinking on this was that I wanted to keep this as a traditional twin-stick shooter like Robotron, for instance.
And not a bullet hell game, really?
There is definitely some bullet hell aspects to this, especially on the hard difficulty levels. I'm still thinking about the smart bomb, to be honest.
Sure.
But I've had that request probably more than anything.
Even if they were kind of infrequent, it's a mechanic that I like for games in which we get swarmed like this. But
yeah, like the screen clearing type thing is always kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it was just like once per level or something, like if you didn't want people to abuse it. But I noticed there's different blue portals in one level. What's going on with that?
So this is basically they're an escape hatch. So once you see a portal, if it appears to be an early portal, not the final one at the end,
yeah,
there's a pretty good chance things are going to get a little bit more difficult. And so if you just want to see the rest of the game, it kind of gives you an out.
Interesting.
To skip ahead. Now, there's some really cool things that you're going to miss out on if you do that, and it might actually make it harder in the sense that your score, you need to build up your score to get extra lives, and those extra lives will really make it a lot easier to, to have a few more chances at the end.
Ah.
So it's all a trade-off, but it's, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
The viewers are asking about co-op.
Yeah, so co-op, it is kind of here. It's in beta. It's been in beta for a long time, to be honest. And it's actually pretty fun. I'm kind of a perfectionist, and so I wanted to make sure that it really, it's really working right before I get it out there. But,
so you develop it. I mean, the coding is completely you, and you have no additional developers.
Yeah, so I do all the code, all the level design, I do all the music. This is actually I actually learned how to write music to make this game.
Wow, it's peppy.
I really didn't think I could do it. That was probably the weirdest part of this project, was going from somebody that I was begging my friends to help me make the music, and I couldn't get anybody to help me, and
dang.
And I thought, what if I don't think I'm a music guy, but what if? And got on YouTube and decided, hey, maybe if I just give this a week, and if I don't make any progress, I'll call it good. And I'll do that for a few weeks and see where I get. And so I found some good instructors out on YouTube, and started making sense, and started making progress, and it kind of went from there.
Achievement.
Yeah.
Well,
right
that's
on.
really impressive. Uh-oh, what do I do here? I don't. Oh, you can walk through those
So you can walk
walls?
through these doors.
Okay, that's what they are.
This looks so good.
Yeah, get a bit low on life. Yeah, compared to Heroes of Hammerwatch, that game is really zoomed out, so here the camera's much closer, and that it takes some getting used to. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's cool looking.
It's gorgeous, though.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'll tell you, for a while, as I was working on this, I didn't have the fastest computer in the world, and the lighting, it took forever because it all has to be ray traced, like they do for the movies, right?
Really?
And so sometimes, and we call that process baking. You're gonna bake the lights, and that makes it so you actually it's almost like you're painting the lights into the scene. But if you have a slower computer, that can take 4 hours or more, just to see how things are gonna look. And that ate up some months of time. I'll be honest.
Wow.
It convinced me to buy a better computer.
Well, congrats on that. Is your computer now really fancy or pretty normal?
Yeah, it's I actually went nuts. I realized that it was costing me so much time to work on certain things, whether it was the builds or the lighting or any number of things. even like video work, video editing. It was really worth it, and so I grabbed a new computer after the release of this game, actually.
Ouch! Dang.
Yeah, but it's helped with all the future work. 32 cores, and it makes all the difference.
Wow! Congrats. What kind of video card do you have?
It's a 3080. I got the 3080 on the day of when everybody was complaining that they couldn't find one.
Yeah.
And the secret to it was I waited to buy the computer from a boutique computer shop, Falcon Northwest, and so I waited until the day that thing was released. Read the news and got depressed because I realized I wasn't going to get the thing. But I went ahead and went ahead with the order, and it turns out you could get the 3080 if you were buying a new computer from a boutique that happened to have them in stock.
Oh, hey, that's cool.
Nice.
So it kind of worked out.
Congrats on that. I've only got a 2060, so I'm jealous.
Hey, the 2060 is pretty good. I was running on a 10. This entire game was developed on or a good chunk of it was developed on a 1060.
Oh, that's what I had before that.
Mobile.
Neat.
Yeah. The other problem I had was that my computer was thermal throttling like crazy, and so it made it really difficult to benchmark the performance for this thing. But the game is actually on Steam. It's actually designed around somebody having a computer with the thermal throttling issues.
Yeah, I noticed a Steam review where you were interacting with a guy who was having some problems. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get past this level. I hope so. But
Let's see here. Yeah, this might be a little bit.
Bump it down to easy. Is there a level below normal?
Yeah.
There's 2 levels below normal.
yeah, so I may have to do that. Do I have unlimited lives, or I have a specific number of lives?
You have a specific number of lives, and I think you're on your last. I can't tell if you're on your last one here. I believe so, though.
We'll keep going just until they run out, and then I guess we'll bump it down, and at the end we can bump it up.
Yep. I see where the bottom of your screen is here. So yeah, it looks like there's nothing left here.
Yeah, even normal is a nice level of challenge because it's very hectic.
Yeah, that's kind of what this game was all about for me. It was when I was a kid. I grew up on well, I was a very little kid. I really enjoyed Robotron. That was one of the first games I ever played.
Neat.
And are you familiar?
Yeah, the first twin stick shooter, right? Or at least one of the very first.
The first one that I know of, yeah.
Nice.
By the same guy that did Smash TV.
I love me some Smash TV.
Yeah, it's a fun game. So, yeah, so I wanted this to feel kind of like that, but I also wanted kind of a Commando scrolling feel to it.
Yeah, that's the auto-scrolling is an interesting feature of it. That's different from a lot of modern games.
Yeah, it was something that, you know, I wasn't sure how that was going to work out.
I was right at the end, too.
Oh, yeah, you're almost there. You could run right through.
If only I had. I died. But that's okay. We'll try it.
Oh, sorry. The lag, I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know, that's a great job. I gotta say, that's a great job for normal. This is a hard game.
That's awesome. Ooh, is that an eye?
I don't know if that red thing off to the side is it just a detail?
What's that?
There's like a red
Yeah,
sort of
so,
thing over there.
I don't have listed names for things, but for lack of a better term, they're called protectors in my game, and so they're essentially like automated turrets. That one doesn't actually shoot at you, but you'll actually see them later on.
Oh, gotcha. So it's a little bit of foreshadowing.
It is. It's exactly. And there's even more to it than that. So.
Nice.
Did you put it on wussy mode? I changed
I just knocked it down one difficulty, okay? I'm not on the lowest difficulty
You're not
yet.
super wuss mode, you're just on wuss mode.
So
Something like that. Go ahead.
So the curious developer in me has to ask, does this feel different? This knocking it down a level here.
Yeah, I mean, are they taking longer to fire, maybe?
They should be taking a little bit longer to fire. They should be moving a little bit slower and spawning at a slower rate as well.
I'd say the spawn notice is a little bit noticeable, the slower spawning.
Yeah, on normal they fire really quickly, so I think that's where a lot of the challenge for me lies. Is just that like a little, I don't know, just they fire more quickly than I guess what I'm used to, but it's fine. And here, I guess, is kind of closer to my ability level.
Yeah. So, I guess I was going to say earlier that the action in this it's pretty non-stop, and that was really the intent. So there's about 45 minutes worth of gameplay if you're just playing a typical run.
Yeah.
And where you're hitting, I think you're hitting just about everything. And so the reason for that timing and the reason for the number of levels that you'll see in the game is that given the fast just crazy pace of this thing, that's probably all anybody could really withstand. It's fun, but like it's sort of exhausting after a while, I think. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, I agree. Like classic arcade games usually don't go any longer than that, and it would be tiring at this level of action.
You need like a save feature, I think, and I didn't want to go there, and so that's part of it.
That's good thinking. I didn't realize it was so much of a classic arcade game style game, but that is really cool.
Yeah.
We don't get... I mean, like, there's lots of retro style games in one way or another, but I wouldn't say I've played anything lately that played, like you said, like Commando and similar games.
Yeah, this really, it's what I grew up with. It's what I love, and I like taking some punishment, to be honest. And so, like, so yeah, it's styled for what I like. I'm not convinced that like that's for everybody, but
Well, it fills a niche.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
100%.
Tyler likes taking punishment too. He actually, I understand he spends a lot of money towards that end, but we can't really talk about it on stream, unfortunately.
Very, very clever. And that's not cheap. That's why I don't have a 2080 or 3080 or whatever things you're talking about.
That's okay, Tyler. We all have our priorities.
That's right.
Oh, interesting. Spazpol sharing a link for something. I wonder datascience.hp. I wonder what that's all about.
Some sort of computer stuff. For nerds.
Is that so? Well, speaking of nerdish things, guys, did everybody get to check out the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer?
Yeah, I checked it out.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Looks awesome.
Nice. Well, let me ask you, Tyler and I didn't especially like the movie that came before, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
So I don't think I saw that one.
Okay, well, it's a couple years old now, but the first time when I saw it in the theater, I liked it, but I had some reservations about some of the characters. And then rewatching it at home, I like it less because the characters, the human characters, are all just terrible. You know, like the script has some real problems. But I do really like the fights still. You know, like the monster fights are just fantastic, and we're definitely going to get more of that quality in Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, I mean, it's too bad it's gonna be, I don't know, if you go to theater still or even have that ability. It definitely feels like a movie that's meant for theaters and not meant to be released on HBO day one, you know?
Well, the production company, Legendary Pictures, wasn't very happy about HBO and Warner Brothers announcing the HBO Max release because they hadn't been consulted. So
Yeah, someone else got mad about it too. Was it the new Dune movie? The director of the Dune movie?
Villeneuve? It might have been.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. All these movies premiering on HBO Max are definitely movie theater style movies. It seems like where they're more entertaining in that setting.
Big and boisterous, is that the word? Yeah, big and
Noisy,
bold anyway.
you know, loud, like you can feel the booming and stuff when Godzilla knocks over a building or whatever.
We've got a decent subwoofer at home, but I really need to replace my receiver and some of the speakers.
I got to do the same actually. At the moment, like, it's kind of nice to have a regular TV because it tells me kind of how things are going to look and sound for a good chunk of the audience out there.
Ah.
But,
So you don't play on a 4K TV, is that what you mean?
I don't have a 4K TV. It sounds ridiculous for someone with a 3080, probably. I got the 4K monitor I'm looking at right here, you know, with all the bells and whistles, but not the TV.
Maybe the 3080 is why you don't have a 4K TV, because money's not unlimited.
I have a normal person budget, so that's like...
Well, have you watched any of these new release movies at home, like Wonder Woman or any of those kind of movies?
Yeah, we saw Wonder Woman. Is there just one of those right now?
As far as movies that, well, Bill and Ted 3 launched, you know, as a video on demand title before eventually coming out on Blu-ray. And there's actually several other movies, but also HBO Max just debuted another movie. It was called what was it called? Like Hidden Things or something, and it's a thriller.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but I think that was like the second one, kind of their big announced movies or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, and I may eventually watch it. I mean, if anybody tells me it's good, I probably will, but I don't especially care about thrillers. You know, more like action and sci-fi.
Oh, right on.
But anyway, what did you think of the experience of watching Wonder Woman 1984 at home then?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it too. She was a big fan of Wonder Woman as a kid, so.
Oh, nice.
So that was cool.
That's awesome.
Well, Tyler really didn't like it, and I like it okay, but I totally share his concerns about the story. But I'm glad that they gave us the option of watching it at home instead of risking going to a theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like going to a theater, but I don't ever end up doing it that much before the pandemic even. So, I mean, I like the idea of, you know, these movies from home things and stuff. I don't like the idea of spending $30 for Mulan, but
yeah.
Besides that, cool.
And people don't even seem to like Mulan that much.
Yeah, it was definitely not the right movie to try to test that out on Disney Plus.
You were saying, Mark?
Oh yeah. For me, like, I have a really hard time justifying $20 for a movie from home. Like, I get that it's kind of the same thing, and that you're not buying the popcorn, but
That's true.
I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe it should go for the price of a single person, if that makes sense.
I gotcha.
That'd be a nice value for sure if they did.
Wow.
I guess they're thinking that people are gonna watch it in groups. You know, like another thing from that happened during the pandemic is concerts started going online, and I think we've bought like 3 or 4 online concerts or sets of concerts, and you'd probably think they're expensive too, because that's like approximately $25 for access to one, which is about the same maybe as an individual concert ticket, but it maybe feels kind of like a lot to spend on a one-time thing. But I justified it by just thinking, well, I'm also watching it with my fiance, and I've got a friend coming over to watch it with us, so for me that added to the value.
Yeah, I think that's where they got the $30 for Mulan in the first place. They're like, well, a family of 4 having, you know, take your 2 kids to Mulan,
Yeah.
it's gonna cost this much.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the conversation and just realizing, hey, you just
He
rented
beat
that portal.
he beat that level.
Was that bad? Oh.
Well, and a lot of shoot 'em ups like this, like you play it on the easier levels to get better. I mean, that's how I play it anyway, right? And then you go back and you play through it again on a harder difficulty as you get better at the game itself. And you
Yeah.
have, like, spawn points and tricks and stuff like that. So it's not unusual to play these games on the easier difficulties. A lot of the older bullet hell games, I wish had easier difficulties.
Yeah.
So that I could actually experience the whole game.
I feel you on that. Ah.
Are there any collectibles or?
Oh yeah, Brandy
stuff?
asks if there's collectibles.
So there aren't any specific collectibles in the general sense of things. There are some fairly rare gems that you can pick up. They're not that rare if you play on, say, Wicked or even normal sometimes. So there's some different kinds of loot that these guys will drop, and that includes like these 3 different types of gems. There's secret weapons all over the place,
Which is neat.
and like you just found there, you can find one at the end of most levels.
That's awesome.
In this level here, there are secret potions. So there's that potion that just popped up down there.
Oh, did I miss it?
And if you run behind this left log up here, there will be a potion that appears next to the other log. Actually, it works both ways. So just if you run right behind this log, there's a potion to your
Oh,
right.
I see it, yeah.
Right there.
And then if you grab that one, there's another one right where you were.
I think I just missed one, but yeah, the time delay makes it a little hard to coordinate strategies like that. But
yeah, and so to take out this big gun, right on. So
He's
that
gone.
big guy there, I think you figured it out, but you knock out the 3 things that are connected to it.
that's cool.
And then you can take it out.
Is it weird that I like when the eyes blow up? They have those concave.
When
It's
what
kinda
now?
like a bubble wrap getting popped.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Or or like an eyeball getting popped. Or...
Nice. Yeah, Tyler, do not talk mess about the Aquabats. I don't want to have to mute you again. Yeah, one of the, or 2 of the online concerts that we bought were my favorite band, the Aquabats, who are, well, they were based out of California. Ah! Oh, finally died once. I should have been paying attention to what I was doing.
Oh, there's a potion for you? Oh!
Yeah, shame on me. Ah!
And I'm totally not thinking that, realizing that the lag is happening.
Spazpool is shocked that the Aquabats are still a thing.
Oh, Spazpole is talking mess about the Aquabats. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what he's doing.
Spazpole, the hammer can swing in many different directions, you know. I'm just kidding. But, yeah, they for a long time had kind of a lull and didn't release new albums, but then Kickstarter came along, and that inspired them to give it a try, and, you know, their Kickstarter was, which I was a part of, was quite successful. And so, there you go. I feel like
You're
it's...
doing absolutely fantastic here.
Oh, thank you.
Really gotta say it. Well, I had to work on the difficulty here a little bit, actually. I did several releases for Xbox, just like updates, to fix various problems that the game was having some bugs. But the main thing was actually the difficulty, and so...
Getting it just right?
Yeah, getting it just right. And I just don't have the testing resources that, well, certainly that I'm used to, like working for a larger company. So yeah, it unfortunately I had to test on my users a little bit.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Didn't mean to.
So, you mentioned earlier that this game will be getting local co-op, and I think that's a really good thing because, to me, it's kind of just a totally standard feature of a twin-stick shooter, so not having it is a little bit weird.
Yeah, 100% agree. It's really fun with co-op.
Oh, nice. Do you have kind of a ballpark on when you think you'll be able to implement it for consoles?
It should have already been out, to be honest. the PlayStation 5 development and some of the things I'm running into with a new version of Unity,
Right.
are it's. I won't blame anything on the PS5 because it's not that. It's just Unity changed a few things on me, and it is what it is. And it's going to take me a little bit of time. And there are a bunch of things that I would like to add to this still. Co-op is definitely there.
Nice.
Something that I really don't. I probably shouldn't even say it because I don't know. But I would love to add a roguelike mode to this as well, like endless roguelike or something
Ooh.
like that. I think that'd be kind of fun.
That would definitely be cool. Me and Tyler both, we love a roguelike. Of course, then you have to have like randomized power-ups and different things like that, maybe.
Yeah, so that's. I'll have to see if I have the ability to do that.
It'd be very interesting.
Homie Drew's got the link, the store link.
What do you say?
Homie Drew's got the store link there.
Oh, the store link for...
The Horde of Plenty.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for sharing that, homie Drew. That's very good of you. And yeah, if anybody doesn't win a copy tonight, we highly recommend that you grab it because it is fun. And, of course, the one-man developer is so cool to hang out with us on mic tonight.
Thanks, guys. You're too kind.
I had to pull my headphones off one ear to be able to hear you. I forgot about that. So, you mentioned that Commando is an inspiration for this title, or one of the inspirations. Did you did you play Wolf of the Battlefield Commando 3?
No, I actually didn't. So I'm thinking like Commando here. So here's the thing is I didn't actually own Commando, but I saw it at some friends' homes, like when I was I don't know, maybe 7, 8, 9, something like that. So Commodore 64.
Gotcha.
I had an Apple IIe. There's actually a Commodore 64 because I had a model for it in the game.
Cool.
But yeah, at the time when I was growing up, it was all Apple IIe, Commodore 64, and then some Amiga. So that gives you, it tells you how old I might be.
I wish I had had an Amiga. You know, the graphics were always very impressive back in the day.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable.
I had a Commodore VIC-20. That was my computer as a kid.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it was neat, but there weren't that many. You know, like I always wanted Super Pac-Man, and it didn't get released on the VIC-20. It didn't get released on a lot of things, but
yeah,
I would have liked more arcade ports and stuff like that. But it wasn't exactly very beefy hardware.
Wow, Brian, thanks.
Instead of Galaxia, I'm sorry, instead of Galaga, I had to make do with Galaxian, for instance.
Gotcha. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got quite a few ports over to the Apple too. It's amazing what they could do with 1 megahertz, you know.
Oh, there's the door. Yeah, and I love those old ports of arcade games and such. Like, there's a channel on YouTube that just shows footage of every version they can find of classic games like that, such as Outrun or Pac-Man or whatever. And it's really interesting to see just how the different developers were able to bring that game to life.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of classic arcades, so the doors that you were running through in that level back there, that is lifted straight from a game called Lady Type from Commodore 64 and Apple II days.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, kind of like a maze-like game that had these doors that revolved like that. And,
I
always
like
thought
that.
that would be kind of fun.
I like that
Yeah,
you can
it's a
use
neat
the
touch.
doors for like
For a shield?
yeah,
Yeah, totally like control the traffic. The
Exactly.
foot, or whatever you call it.
And there's some little Space Invaders like barriers now and then too, right?
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
it seems like just cool.
It is a cool game. And they just released a nice Space Invaders collection on PlayStation and Switch digitally, I think. I need to, I pre-ordered the special edition of it from Strictly Limited Games. So it'll probably be like another year before I actually receive it, because they take forever to bring anything to market.
Gotcha.
But I might go ahead and buy the digital version so I don't have to wait.
Yeah,
But
so I actually don't have a Switch yet.
Oh, that's too bad. You know, it has a great library of exclusive games, especially if you like 2D and retro and classic things.
Yeah, I'm probably doing a disservice to myself not able at this point, but yeah, I have to get around to it one of these days.
Maybe we'll be able to get, you know, maybe they'll release an upgraded version like has long been rumored, and then you could perhaps get that instead or whatever, and you benefit from not having to buy it twice.
Hey, you saw it there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little too hectic, but I see how you like to hide things.
Yeah,
It's good though.
yeah, that's awesome. You know, watching the YouTube videos kind of gives me an idea, like how people are doing. But it's fun just to see that. Hey, someone found it right away.
For once, for
The
me.
spiders are creepy, dude. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
I don't do spiders, so.
That's true. I'm repulsed by most insects, which spiders aren't really insects, but Brandy especially dislikes spiders.
Just spiders, though.
Just spiders.
Can you hear the little chirpy noises that they're making there?
Yeah, that's a cool sound effect. She can't hear it, but I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, they kind of let you know that they're coming.
Give me that coin. So what kind of achievements do we have in this beyond beating the game and whatnot?
Yeah, let me rather than trying to remember everything, which you probably can do, I'll just look them up.
Sure. Yeah, Xbox achievements or true achievements both would have them listed. Yay. Special weapons, when we have them, do they consume ammo or are they just limited time? How do they work?
Yeah, so the...
Oh, thank you so much.
Uh-oh, what's going on here?
Our co-host just subscribed to us, everybody. That's pretty
nice.
rad.
Yeah, homie Drew donated it looks like.
Oh, I see. That's how it happened. Very cool. Thank you, homie Drew.
Sorry, so your question there about the weapons?
Yeah, how does the ammo work on them?
Oh yeah, so you're doing fantastic considering that I haven't actually explained how this works, and it's kind of in the instructions. So yeah, what's happening here is that there is no ammo limit for any weapon. You can keep those weapons alive, but if you look in your top left-hand corner where you have your health, maybe you don't want to be looking right now. But so where you have your hearts, you also have health for your gun, represented by a gun meter down below it. And so as you take hits, your weapon takes damage as well. So you start with 5 health for a gun, for an upgraded gun. And if you manage to not take the proper damage and you find another upgrade, then you'll go ahead and you can get that upgrade. And it'll also refill the health meter for your weapon as well. And if you're fully upgraded, there's 3 weapons. Then you
wow, that just did it.
You can start picking up gold stars.
Ah, what did I just step on?
Oh, there are hidden turrets with spiders that pop out.
Wow.
Right before you died, though, you upgraded the gun because I was sitting there watching the gun, and it was like
I got the gun and I was happy, but then I died right away, and I didn't see what hit me.
Let's see here. Let me see if I have any. This is a little so this is tough right here. If you can make it through this section, there's a heart. If you
I
can
just
make it through
missed
this
it, I
section
think.
right here, there are some what I call medi tanks. They're health tanks, and they drop these very large hearts that'll give you 3 health apiece, and you're about maybe 30 seconds out from them.
Interesting.
They're kind of strategically timed to show up right when you think you're completely screwed.
Huh? Interesting.
So they're right up here. If you can
What do they look like?
somehow, should be any second now. They'll come out left and right.
Stay on target.
And you'll have one coming down this aisle here. Most of the time
Wait,
here.
and I want to let them shoot me?
No, but you want, if you shoot them, they give you a heart that's worth 3 health.
Okay, gotcha. Did I? Apparently I failed to do that.
No, you had it.
Oh,
There's 2
ouch!
actually.
Dang it, Paul. I guess I'm just getting hit a lot. Shame on me. Alright, I'll keep trying.
You're doing good. It's pretty difficult.
Thank you. Homie Drew, you never have to apologize for gifting a subscription. That was very cool of you, dude.
Got a heart. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look, I ran up this way for some
Because I
reason.
knew you had gotten one because your health went up. But
Here you go.
So I guess knowing where the enemies, or anticipating the enemies and killing them quickly probably provides an
Definitely
advantage.
Yeah, so it's not intended that you would. So if you're playing on easy and you're really good at this kind of stuff, then you might make it through this game first try. But I really wasn't expecting anybody to make it through on the first playthrough. I didn't figure that you would want to spend the money on this game and then like beat it in 45 minutes and that's a wrap, you know?
Yeah.
And even if you do beat it, there's chances are there's more to see, more weapons and some of these. Oh yeah, the achievements here. Would you like me to go through that list of achievements?
Sure, or just give us some highlights at least.
Highlights, yeah. Yeah. So we've got. So we have an achievement where you
God,
can pick up apples. There's two that involve apples, and I don't think you've seen apples so far.
I don't think so.
So at the end of this level, there are a ton of apples to be found. But you could miss it by going through the early exit.
So don't do that.
So yeah, maybe don't do that. And actually, the screenshot that you posted for the live stream was at the end of this level here.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so you'll get
Good
a
eye.
chance to see that.
I like when I get a good gun.
So you're actually protected somewhat in there. They're not going to be able to follow you in there, and that back fence you can actually run through.
Oh crap! I see. Good.
It just happens to be like it's the only one like it. I typically, if I'm doing something like that, I try to make that show up, that mechanic show up a few places, but that's the only one.
Well, the player thinks they're stuck, and then there's a way out, so that's cool.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see here. So, all right, so there's things you can do here, like so you can collect so many hearts, so many coins, potions. So there's some of the typical like collection achievements. If you
Dang it! I missed the apple. Need more apples.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, now I got 2 apples.
One of the harder achievements probably is to collect 5 golden stars in one game. And so that basically just means that you have to avoid getting hit long enough to pick up
Thanks.
5 stars.
Yeah, just survive long enough. Is that?
Yep.
This is it for the level, right? Once you kill
so that's pretty much it.
Well, I got several apples. I didn't get an achievement. I guess I got 8. Oh wait. Well, there's an achievement.
there it
Baker's
is. Baker's
dozen.
dozen.
Collected 13 apples in one game. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Yeah, so all the achievements show up at the end of the level because it would be a disaster if that thing showed up while you were actually playing.
Covering the screen. Yeah. At least you thought about that. Some developers don't, and they pop up in silly places.
Right.
I love achievements. Tyler's a trophy guy because he plays on PlayStation. He told me he's very sad that this isn't on PlayStation yet.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm
dang Unity.
in the PS4, but PS5 is the main focus at the moment here.
Good.
Is it going to do anything fancy since it'll be PS5 exclusive?
Yeah, actually. Well, in a sense, I mean, not crazy, but the graphics are getting a full upgrade. And that really, like, I feel like this was in general, that's a really bad plan. It would be better. It would be way better, I think. My actual plan was to make sure that all the existing stuff out there was improved, like say with multiplayer and such.
Yeah.
But I had the graphics forced on me, and so since I had to make a major switch, I figured I might as well go ahead and just make them look good while I was at it. So
couldn't hurt. It'll be a good debut on PlayStation then.
Yeah. So I'm totally happy with how they are here on the Xbox, but you know, you'll have a few more bells and whistles out there.
Rad.
How long did it take you? One of our viewers asked.
Yeah, viewers.
Yeah, so this was like it's a full-time project, but it's also sort of been off and on as well.
Okay.
So it took longer than it didn't take quite as long as it seems. I was prototyping this in 2017. I did the first Steam release in 2018. But I took significant periods of time out to do some other projects on the side, not game related. And so I would say maybe 2.5 years of solid development here, but a lot of that was just it certainly wasn't the code. That I'm a coder by profession, and so the code was actually the easiest part of this. The hard thing for me was learning everything that I didn't know about graphics and animation and music and sound and just a million all the crazy things that you gotta learn about. And it wasn't like I didn't know those pipelines to a degree going into this, but I was typically part of a larger team where people specialized in areas, and so I kind of had to sit down and figure out how things work here.
Yeah, doing everything yourself must be a lot more, I mean, just a lot different at bare minimum.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of, like, you know, if you're figuring stuff out, you don't really know how far you can push, and if you're learning, like, you know, you'll do something once, and then you'll learn a bit more and go, oh, I should redo that because I could do it better, and that of course takes a little bit of time too.
Very true.
Something that if I had a boss, they would not be happy with that.
Well, you're your own boss, so you're good with it.
Well, you mentioned. Oh,
just
go on.
Here, I have a upset cat that would like to leave the room here.
Sure.
I don't know if you can hear him, but he's meowing. So
just at the end.
Do you still have your cats, Paul?
Well, I had 2 cats, you know, and one of them used to like to get up on the chair.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when Deborah and I split up, she took them both, and she gave one away to somebody who lived kind of far away, and she gave the boy away, the one who liked to get up on the chair, and she did not have my permission. So that was frustrating, and India always was very sad about it because she really liked him. Then, yeah, so I don't have those cats, but Brandy brought a cat of her own when she moved in.
It might do.
Yeah. He's a good kitty. Perhaps not as...
on the chairs.
No, he doesn't do that. The bad thing about him compared to other cats is that he doesn't like to get in laps at all. Like, not for anything, you know?
He's pretty independent.
Yeah, he'll like cuddle up next to you and stuff. He just doesn't want to be in your lap.
Yeah, he likes to be on a bed with us, and he likes to be on the top of the couch when we're sitting on the couch, but just won't be in our laps.
Hey guys, I'm back here. Yeah,
Welcome back.
We have 2 cats, and one is like that, and the other is just super people friendly, and
Oh, good.
they have their own personalities.
That's for sure.
Although my cat loves Ethan.
Oh yeah, my son Ethan. Westex.
Yeah. The first day he met him, he crawled up in his lap. It was just like, what? Okay.
Are there difficulty-based achievements in this, by the way?
Let's see here.
Like being on Wicked or anything like that?
It's been so... this is terrible. Like, I should remember this off the top of my head. No, there are not, actually.
I'm going to say thank you for that, because difficulty-based achievements that are too hard for me are frustrating.
I'll be honest, there is something that
Dang it, I keep missing all
you
those
might
points.
not be able to pick up. So it's not difficulty per se, but you might have a very, very difficult time picking it up on anything under normal.
Gotcha.
But that's something that you can actually, let's see here. Sorry, just a second. So some of the speed achievements. So if you see the chain and speed bonuses up top there,
yeah.
So those stack up, and so there's achievements for those. And if you want to get, say, like the light speed achievement, that's like that you trigger speed 5 times, or times 5. And you got to do it 25 times. So this is actually grinding, and unless you're playing all the way through a game, say on normal or better, you'll pick it up naturally that way after maybe a couple games or so. But in any case, the light speed, if you're a beginning player and you want to get that, my suggestion is that you play on something between normal and wicked, and just try to go for it in the first level. It's kind of grindy if you do it that way, but it is achievable.
Nice.
And so there's specific places that you can try to aim for that. And so on the first level, there's all those boulders that come rolling down at you.
Yeah.
And so that actually provides a great place to destroy a bunch of stuff all at once, and that'll kick your bonuses up.
Cool. Dang.
The other place that you can do that is with the spiders on level 2. So kind of the spiders that you see later on with all those coins that appear.
What's that little wooden cuckoo clock looking thing?
Yeah. So that's my attempt at making a magic well.
Do I go in it, or no? I can't go in it.
No, it doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
And actually, if you can avoid dying here, you're almost done.
Well, I hope so. I hope I
By
can avoid dying. Not the done
other
part. Every now and then, we're a variety stream, and we just stream what we're able to get prizes for, right? Primarily. And every now and then, I'll get a game that I just can't stand playing for the full 90 minutes, but it's not that common. I have pretty broad taste, so usually I'll enjoy a game unless it just does something that really rubs me the wrong way.
Cool.
You got this. You got it. You got it. Go.
Yeah, you're doing fantastically well.
Thank you, but yeah, that part right there is challenging.
I'm seriously impressed, really.
That's kind of you to say. Well, I'm not on normal.
This is one of his favorite type of games, though. So
yeah, there's some platformers and JRPGs, I guess.
Yeah.
Now we've got a loud cat. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to be let out. He's just being a pest.
He heard us talking.
The secret to this level, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Is to shoot up as many of those heart tanks as you possibly. As soon as you see them, you want to get them, and that'll keep you going for a while.
Nice. That's good. Man, one got away. It's a sound strategy, I can tell.
And so that foreshadowing that you, so is it Brandy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the foreshadowing, this would be it right here.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be nice.
It's intense. Oh, there's a big guy. Is he like a mummy or something? What is he?
Oh, that guy there, yeah. So, yeah, he's an ogre, I suppose. He kind of evolved through a few different designs, but that's where he landed.
Gotcha. Oh no, I can finally hit the red thing.
Yeah. So just once you get that last one, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes. Go.
Yeah.
Now you gotta hit this thing quite a few times.
Yeah.
And there is no bar to keep track.
Another heart.
But if it had gone on any longer, there would have been a boss bar.
Gotcha.
Extra life.
Hey, I did it! Extra
Yay!
life. There's a fish.
Yay.
What's the fish for?
Ooh, that's pretty.
Oh, because that's the
and this
object.
fish's name is Puppy. USA Puppy.
That's right.
That's funny.
And so this was actually something that I did for my wife. So I've been putting pufferfish into games for her, going back to big fish days. She loves pufferfish, and so Puffy is in there as a thank you to my wife for letting me be a crazy dude that goes off and follows his dreams for a few years.
Yes, achievement.
That's awesome.
I bet you really had to fight to work the
Local
puffer
hero
fish into
saves
your
pet
big
fish.
fish games.
Love it.
Yep. My wife just popped in and she says, "You're welcome."
That's so cool.
She also says that she says Extra Life. She is the voice of Extra Life in this game.
Oh, rad.
Yeah. So yeah, so you can see kind of credits who's been working on this here.
Oh, Brian, that's horrible.
Yeah. Bones and Skull Pack. This is who made the different assets, or?
Yeah. So this was made with Unity, so I used a lot of stock art from the Unity asset store. Most of it has been tweaked quite a bit, maybe unrecognizable, but that actually was a huge help to me as an indie, having some place to start.
I bet. Okay, we're checking out Wicked. I'm sure it'll be too much, but happy to have a look.
Yeah, the funny thing about Wicked is that even though it's a lot harder, you also are almost guaranteed to score better, at least at first. And so it's pretty easy to pick up extra lives. So
nice.
That might balance it a little bit in your favor, but it's very hard.
Indeed, these guys are fast.
Yeah, so if I had a choice and I only could release one difficulty, I'll be honest, this would actually be this would just be a crazy hard game, and it would be played on like if I had no way of things. But that would be a terrible decision as far as most of the rest of the world is concerned.
Yeah, it is, like, I believe in accessibility, so it's great when anybody can buy a game and have some hope of enjoying it, but...
Yeah. I like it because I still die on Wicked, so it's, it's a challenge for me still.
That is cool.
That was one of the things that was really hard about this. It was actually, since I was working on this for a few years, I got better at the game, and I kept thinking as I was progressing with this thing, I kept thinking, I thought that was really cool, but it seems boring now. I better increase the difficulty.
Uh-oh.
And so that
extra life, like you said.
Problem.
Getting lots of coin drops too.
Yeah.
This is a really fun way to play it.
Yeah, this is kind of maybe more of the coin op difficulty here.
Yeah.
Well, those of us that are less dexterous,
yeah.
we appreciate the lower modes.
Oh, absolutely. And you are doing fantastic.
Thank you.
I am really impressed.
For now. It can change very quickly. Oh, the heart disappeared.
You're doing as well as anybody I've ever seen, so that's great.
Oh wow, let's go to here.
It's not a platformer, so Paul's actually okay at it.
Hey, Tyler. Where the heck do you get that from?
Burn.
He's always
They do
dishing
it
out the sick
lovingly.
burns.
That's right, that's what I'm here for.
He's not just a masochist, he's a sadomasochist.
I see.
So before the stream, I was running a few minutes late, as always, because we were watching a movie, or we were watching the first Thor movie. Have you watched the Marvel movies, Mark?
I think I watched some, and I was thinking I haven't seen the Thor movie.
Oh. Well,
I'll be honest, like, I like the superhero movies, but I somehow missed that whole thing as a kid.
wow.
And I know, right? And so...
Nerd heresy.
Yeah, so, like, I've had to kind of catch up as an adult. It makes me a bad geek, to be honest.
Well, nobody can be a geek about everything, right? Except for me. I'm pick and choose.
Yep. Yeah, I never was into comic books either, but I enjoy the movies good enough.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, did you... You know, out of the Thor movies, there's 3 of them, and they're making a 4th one, which I'm excited for. But people consider Part 2 to be the worst of the trilogy, and perhaps the worst Marvel movie. What do you think about that, Tyler?
Yeah, it's near the top of my least favorites, for sure, with the Marvel movies. But I like the first one quite a bit.
I can tell you after the second one, I was very, very reticent to continue.
The second one had problems with the studio, Marvel, disagreeing with the director about his decisions and such. And they took the edit away from him, which is never a good thing. The same thing that happened with Incredible Hulk. But Incredible Hulk still came together pretty well, in my opinion. Sorry, I know I feel bad going over our guest co-host's head, so we shouldn't talk about that stuff too much.
Totally cool.
But yeah, movies are one of my other big interests, so we often talk about them on the stream.
Yeah.
So what kind of movies are you specifically into?
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think. You know, recently it's really been TV shows.
Ooh.
Like Queen's Gambit, for instance.
I heard that was great.
Yeah, I've heard it's good too. I want to watch it.
Yeah, that was that was one where I won't tell you anything about it. I don't want to spoil anything, but by the end of the first episode, you would definitely know if you wanted to see some more. I'll put it that way.
I had a friend who didn't like it. He said it was too much Queen, not enough Gambit. I don't know.
I don't know.
He was an X-Men fan.
They had something for everybody in there.
Neat. I was actually in chess club in high school briefly, so even though I'm not very good at chess at all, like I'm pretty bad at it, but I can appreciate it anyway.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Like I played it as a kid. Played the computer, but yeah, I haven't probably touched it more than like 5 times in 20 years. Dang.
Yeah, that's me too. Do you know my actual favorite chess video game, or the one that I play the most out of anything? It was a Game Boy Advance title, Dexter's Laboratory Chess. Yeah, and I guess I got it on clearance at Target when I worked at Target, so it was really cheap and that was nice, but it also was fun to play, and I love Dexter's Laboratory, so that didn't hurt. I mean, it's hard to mess up a chess game, right? So
you would think so.
It should be, yeah. Man, this is fast.
I was always a good defensive player, but not offensive.
I like the sound effects. I don't know if it's because I'm getting combos or what it is, but it's a pleasant sound effect that I keep hearing.
Oh, that's really great to hear. Certainly, like when I was working on this, I had some sound effects that really got annoying. I couldn't listen to them anymore. So those ones had to go. So,
smart.
Yeah, I don't know. There's certain sounds or repetitive sounds. Like you might not hear much of the gunfire. The gunfire got really repetitive, and I couldn't figure out a way to, even with mixing it up, to make it work the way I wanted to, other than just to tone it down.
Like a machine, triggered speed 4 times, bonus multiplayer 20 times. Is that the one you were talking about, or is there?
Yeah. So that's one of them there. Yeah. That's
there's more than one.
Times 4. So you've got one more to go.
Gotcha. Rad.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Love me some achievements. So let me ask you, why did you choose to launch on Xbox before PlayStation, which has a larger user base?
So I've been an Xbox guy for forever and a half. I picked up the original. I actually wasn't much of a console gamer at the time. I was more of a PC gamer.
Oh.
And but with the 360, that really changed, and I kind of switched to more console than PC. And then stuck with them through all the bad press with the Xbox.
Bad press and some bad executive decision making for a while there.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because it's like it was terrible what they said, but for what it's worth, I do actually spend over half the time on the Xbox doing all the things that they said that they intended it for. You know, like Netflix and YouTube and that sort of thing. So
it's good for that.
A lot of people do use them as entertainment boxes more than gaming boxes, but it definitely alienated the gamer base. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was a harsh message that they were giving us there. So yeah, I happened to stick with it. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't know if I'm being loyal to like a local business I've worked at. I spent a year, just over a year on the DirectX team.
Oh, cool.
Doing some. And this was actually the very beginning of my career. I was testing what they called an SDET, but like a software development engineer in test. So I was writing code to test DirectX, Direct 3D in particular.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and kind of remember the beginnings of the Xbox project, just as like the rumors went around and things got started, and people were leaving the team to go join Xbox.
That must have been exciting.
So yeah, it was really a cool thing to see. They weren't telling me much about it, but
you have to work on the big Microsoft campus.
Yeah, right over. This was back in '99 and 2000. I actually cut my college short, and .com was in full swing at the time, and it was a little bit too easy to get a job back then. And
wow,
it just was what it was.
Well, it's still an industry where your portfolio and what you've done can carry a lot more weight than like an education or a degree, which is not true in a lot of industries, but it definitely is. Like if you're good at coding and if you're good, a good programmer, and you have proof of that, you don't need the like masters or the bachelors, which a lot of areas now kind of require.
Especially if you have work online, like people like open source work, people can see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Makes it easier.
Yeah, so talent-based. I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
rather,
it's very skills-based. For so many higher education programs are more about like what sort of degrees and certificates and stuff you have, and it's kind of hard to prove things sometimes. Even teaching, like with you, Paul, is kind of hard to prove exactly how good you are as a teacher sometimes.
Yeah, the best I can do is I have a portfolio of materials that I've made, which is sort of like probably what game developers do. They can say I worked on this and that, So, and I don't think all teachers do that, but I actually think I'm better than average at making materials, so that's why I do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably helped me get my current job, which is sweet. Because during the COVID, you need to be able to do online stuff well, right? And unlike a lot of regular teachers, I'm especially good at making the online materials.
For sure.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
You understand how a mute button works and how a webcam works, so you're already ahead of like 70% of the working population in the United States.
Yeah, I haven't done anything embarrassing on
Right.
camera as a teacher yet.
Oh, I was just getting out of the shower. Sorry. Some weird stories have come out.
Yes, indeed.
It's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts to hear all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I guess as far as the length of the stream goes, guys, we could either go until I can't help going to the restroom anymore, or we can go until I get a game over. Because they're.
I'm game for whatever. It's all up to you guys.
Yeah, I think Icky's doing the last. Just is about to close the last giveaway, so.
Good job, Icky.
Another 3 to 5 minutes there, probably, and we'll get there.
Right on.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I wish I had a teacher that was doing this kind of thing back in the day.
Thanks. Yeah, presently I don't have any gaming related posters on my wall, just a little bit of Ninja Turtles and Doctor Who. But at my very first classroom I had all kinds of gaming posters, like Sonic and Dragon Quest and such.
Oh yeah.
And I always thought, like, I would have enjoyed having a teacher like that. You know, even if some of the kids may not appreciate it, I certainly would have.
Well, you had the video gaming club too.
Yeah, and I ran a video gaming club at my first school, which was
cool.
quite fun.
Like for streaming or just playing?
Just like after school, they would come and hang out, and we'd play on about 4 different consoles. You know, play multiplayer stuff.
That's super cool.
Thank you. Yeah, and occasionally, you know, I still was reviewing games a little bit at that time. Like, I haven't reviewed a game in about a year now, but I would get a game early occasionally and be able to show it off to the club, you know, because it wasn't necessarily breaking the embargo. And that was also a unique benefit for my students.
Yeah,
those were the days.
That's rad. It sounds like you're one of those teachers that they're going to remember for a while. You're the
I can
cool
hope.
teacher.
The cool teacher who's also a jerk. No, wait, I try not to be a jerk.
Sure. Well,
So what kind of...
teacher with some discipline, right?
Well, you have to have a little. But what was your favorite subject or subjects in school?
You know, so I actually, for all the math that I have to use now, funny enough, it wasn't my thing in school because I didn't see a direct correlation to what I might be doing with it. And that was unfortunate, really unfortunate. Since I was going to actually need all of it later anyway. I really liked I liked the history. History was probably my favorite subject. Just,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, easily that. History and English.
English too, I'm glad to hear it. English is my subject.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I just loved. It really depended on the teacher, to be honest. Like, but I had a few teachers that really made us think, you know, and look into. They were actually interested in looking into some of the metaphorical meanings and just some of the whether it was BS or not. What are these authors trying to say? And I don't know. I like that.
Right on. In junior college, I should say, my history professor there, he was such a terrific storyteller. Like, I never had an especially good time in history class before, but I could just listen to him talk about history for hours because he really made it come to life. Dr. White was his name. He even wrote a book, or he had written a book before. And he was sort of like a cowboy. We thought of him as a cowboy because he had a, you know, mustache and he wore boots and whatnot.
Oh, that'd do it. There you go.
It helped. Both my girlfriend at the time and I took his class, you know, we just loved it. And we even got to have lunch with him one time, and that was a big pleasure.
Oh, that's rad.
Right on. But math is my worst subject, and I imagine it is hard to, like, I mean, like, I don't need math in my life very much, you know, algebra and beyond, but it would be hard to convince a lot of kids who can't imagine the future very well that they may end up needing this stuff.
It's 100% what it is. Like, because I mean, I was very much there myself, and in hindsight, there are things that they seemed like difficult subjects or difficult material, and it's because I had nothing telling me that I was interested. And as soon as I need it for game programming, I go out to say like something like Khan Academy or Wikipedia for that matter, and pick up the stuff like that I kind of remember seeing in school and maybe never fully like paying attention to. And I'm like picking this stuff up in like 5-10 minutes and going, wait a second, they spent weeks on this stuff, and now that I actually need to know this stuff, it's as easy as it could be. If only there was like that motivation back then.
It's a hard thing. I still have a hard time figuring out just how to get kids to care about certain English concepts, you know, even if I think they're important. Or if I just have to teach them whether I think it's important or not.
Well, trust me, as a math teacher, you know, it got me teaching so much algebra.
The last part of this level is where it gets to be too much for me, although it could be just that I have to go to the restroom, but...
So there's a trick here, actually.
Okay.
If you take out that guy in the center, the guy in the center has less health than some of the others. I think that was the way I left it in the last revision here. But you can blast right through that guy and run clean on through.
Oh, good idea.
You can do it, and you can do it pretty fast. You can, even if you're getting hit, you can just focus on that and nothing else, and just run right through.
All right, I shall try it. By the way,
this might be one of the toughest places in the entire game there. Yeah,
okay, well, I'm glad it's not just me. Gotcha. I die here, like if I'm playing on Wicked. Whoa, good trick.
Almost every time.
See, yeah, I wish I had remembered that, because I feel like you might have mentioned it the very first time I played that level, but yeah, that would save you a lot of lives.
Yeah, it can be helpful there. It's just, you know, it's risky. It's risky to stick around there.
For reals. So let's talk about the Steam version real quick before we end up having to wrap things up in a bit. But I noticed the Steam version requires a controller, so what was your thinking with that?
So I initially support, actually until very recently, it actually did support the keyboard with WASD for left hand and then arrows for the right hand.
Yeah.
And so that worked. It was also not the best, not even close to the best way to play this thing. And I didn't feel like I could ask people for the price of what this is if they didn't have a game controller. It just wouldn't. I don't know. I didn't feel it would be fair, fair to sell this to them like that. And that's really what it came down to. It's a really subpar experience.
Well, why not use the mouse for aiming then?
That's totally possible, I suppose. And it's something that I talked to a few guys about early on, and actually haven't explored. So that's definitely a thought.
I mean, if you ever wanted to have that increased PC appeal, to me that would be the way to go. But yeah, aiming with just the keyboard, that would not work well. So I can totally understand why that wasn't up to par.
Yeah, it was kind of okay, but for $15, it's okay.
Gotcha.
You know.
I just stepped through that mid portal by mistake. Hopefully that doesn't make life too much harder.
No worries there. No worries at all. Actually, you'll probably that's probably a benefit to you here. That tail end of things gets kind of difficult at this level here.
I can imagine. So you mentioned that going through the midway portals can make it harder. How would it make it harder?
It only really makes it harder if, in the sense that you just don't have as many options to retry, because you're less likely to trigger the extra lives, which are a score-based thing. So after you get your first life or extra life, it kind of it's like a doubling that goes on from goes up from there.
I see.
So when the score doubles, then you get the next extra life.
If I click on help, will it bring up an in-game thing, or will it load a website?
No, it'll just yeah, it's in game here, so no problem.
Gotcha. A lot of information. That's good. Let me tell everybody, we've been playing Horde of Plenty for Xbox. I'm playing on the Series X, and it's also available on Steam, hopefully coming to another platform in the near future. And it's $14.99. It's a classic arcade style game and a twin stick shooter, and I had a lot of fun with it. So we've had the developer Mark Davis of Smonch LLC with us on mic. Super cool to talk to you, Mark.
Hey, thank you. You too, all of you guys. It's been a pleasure.
And I want to thank Brandy and Tyler for helping out as always, even if you guys didn't get to talk that much this week.
No, it's fine.
For sure.
I was watching.
Thanks to Icky for running the contest. Thanks to everybody in the audience. You guys are always so great to have around. And I look forward to seeing you next week. We love you. We'll see you next week. And remember, don't hate, appreciate.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks. Take care.
That ought to hold those little SOBs.
Mark couldn't have been ready for that.
What is that?
It's kind of his tagline.
Yeah, his catchphrase at the end. He calls everybody in the audience SOBs.
Right on. Hey, this was a lot of fun. I had a really great time, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm so glad.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you know, I don't think to ask developers if they would be on mic very often. Like, we've certainly had a few over the years, but I guess it just doesn't cross my mind too often. But you were really friendly on Twitter, so that inspired me to do so, and I'm glad we did.
It's also a really good, it's a better experience for the viewers.
Yeah, it's really
as well.
cool to have a
I'll be honest,
developer and stuff on.